Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, to Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Name, Paleo Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to you brothers that preach, teach, and prophesy this word, truth and sincerity, as we continue to put our lives on the line in these last days to bring you this raw and this uncut truth. It's the brother R. Yaga with another nifty lesson from the Grand Rapids, Michigan. All right, let's get into it. So I was looking at Democracy Now! Today, and as usual, they give a lot of good information. Okay. And, you know, the situation in the Middle East, we always keep it updated because it's just getting more and more lit, as they would say. All right. So the wick is lit to the bomb. The fuse to the bomb is ignited. All right. And that place is the powder keg. And it's about to go down in the Middle East. And here we have Israel pressing Rafa still. But there's one specific thing that I heard today that I didn't know. The amount of children that are alone out of the refugees that they sent to Rafa. So what they did was, you know, the small ass Israelis basically had them sent to, what is that, the western portion or the northern portion of Gaza, all the way up to one portion of it, to one side. And what they choose to do at that point is genocide. All right. Let's see. All right. So here's a Rafa crossing, and primarily in this area. Yeah, like the southwest on the border of Egypt. On the border of Egypt is where they've been pushed to. Okay. And for some reason, you know, they don't have that as a high risk area. You know, the reason it is a high risk area, even though it's not in the border, is directly close to the border. And they basically pushed them into this area. And what Netanyahu basically said is he's going to do whatever he wants. Whether the U.S. is with him or not, he's going to attack Rafa. All right. And understand that that's just a genocide soup, so to speak. Because the only thing that can come from that is a mass slaughter. And remember, Russia is in the Red Sea. And the scripture says that Magog should be a shield unto them. And the them is Iran and you know, a major help unto these Eastern nations, you know. But check this out. Let's get it.
In Gaza, UNICEF is warning an Israeli ground attack on Rafa would bring catastrophe on top of catastrophe. The UN agency estimates there are 600,000 Palestinian children crammed into Rafa.
600,000. Boy, I tell you now, if you want to commit genocide, who do you go after? You go after the children. You want to commit a massive genocide, you destroy any chance of the next generation laying root. They uproot that whole other generation, the next generation. You know, 600,000 children alone.
Tuesday, Israel's finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, called for the total annihilation of Rafah and other Gaza cities.
Total annihilation. Straight slaughter. These devils out there don't give a damn, bro. Okay? No, this is not the true people. They out there doing things that only the devil would do. same tactics that they use to take over the Americas is the same thing that they're doing in Gaza.
While negotiations continue over a temporary ceasefire, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken Wednesday Israel will refuse to end its assault on Gaza as part of any deal with Hamas to free hostages. This comes as aid deliveries for Gaza continue to come under attack. Jordan's foreign ministry has accused Israeli settlers of attacking two Jordanian aid convoys carrying food, flour, and other aid. Meanwhile, humanitarian aid has passed through the Erez crossing for the first time since October 7th, but aid groups say Israel must allow in far more aid as Gaza faces famine.
Right. And you know, what they do to a city is they set a siege against it, in which food can't come in, nobody can go out, you know, and what they do is they starve off the people. They did that in 70 AD to Jerusalem. Um, and these tactics that they utilize are the same tactics that were taught to them by the Americans, you know, coming all the way down from, you know, ancient warfare of just surrounding the city and cutting off all entrance in and out. And they're preparing for this major attack. And he said whether America's with them or not, they're gonna do it. You know, so we see Iran is already hot with Israel. And they're one of the only ones in that region because Egypt is not gonna jump and do anything as of yet because they fear the backlash of the United States, and I believe Egypt is a NATO nation, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, what it really comes down to is provoking Russia. You know, Russia will be provoked. So whether he's able to fully accomplish it or not, 600,000 children, boy, and you wonder why they say, and they shall hate the whore. Because, you know, Israel is in direct dealings and under the protection of the great harlot, you know. This devil right here, boy, you know he ain't shit. Also, Zara made a good point. That definitely might be, this devil definitely might be, what's his name, Herod coming back, man. The same Herod that was, you know, basically persecuting, trying to, basically killing the firstborn of the males of Egypt, or excuse me, of Israel, Salakia, trying to kill off the Lord, you know. This devil could definitely be coming back and reincarnated as this bastard, man. Because he is a demon. That dude's a real fucking demon. And they are just Edomites. That's all. They're just really Edomites when it comes down to it. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he has taken against Edom and his purpose, that he has proposed against inhabitants of Teman, which is the chief city of the Edomites, or it was. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their inhabitants desolate with them. Yes, the least of the flock right now, the least of these nations, that is basically the focal point of this whole war in general, is Israel. Israel is the focal point of it. They are the least of these nations, these warlike nations, especially the way that they move. And you would think that they was a superpower. But when you have the United States Army backing you up, uh, you know, you definitely feel like you got more muscle because they are dropping these major aid packages and taking care of all the finances that are rolling in and out for the weapon systems in Israel. All right, let's see. It was a real good scripture I came across fit this situation. This is hold on. I found it. Here you go. This is Ecclesiasticus 8 and 15. Travel not by the way with a bold fellow. All right, ain't nobody acting bolder or emboldened more than Israel is right now. To make statements like that, they own major ally. Hey, if you ain't with us, you with us or not, we gonna do it. Shit. I don't care what you talking about. Nigga, I'm the one that give you all of this bread. It's because they have the backing of the elite. So America, you know, basically is the enforcers of the NWO agenda, the military enforcers, you know, and they know that they have this backing, so they act this way. Travel not in the way with a bold fellow. Israel is a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee. You know, and then they allegedly have Biden. Oh, we need to figure out a ceasefire. We need to come up with something, man. We need to, you know, basically trying to make it seem like America is you know, trying to push Israel to a ceasefire, which we know it's all BS. But let's just say it's not, right. This bold fellow, you done made ties with him and then made this investment, and the Most High has you attached to him in a way that he's become grievous. He's becoming grievous unto you. For he will do according to his own will. That devil said he gonna do whatever the fuck he wants to do. That's what Nathan said. Nathaniel, that's what he said. And thou shalt perish with him through his folly. America's Israel's gonna be touched with fire, cleansed with fire in that day through future prophecy. And America is going to be a lake of fire from all the thermonuclear missiles that are going to be fired from the nations upon this place. Strive not with an angry man. And that ancient hatred that those Amalek or the small hats, the Israelis, the ancient hatred that they have for these Ishmaelites, a good amount of them being Israelites, you know, scattered from the scattering of the four corners of the globe mixed amongst them. They have a pure hatred for them and a heavy desire for the land that they've attained, because it's not really theirs, it's all ours. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives that they're conflicting for. So I said, strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. So you go and you make these peace treaties with these devils, man, in private, and they're gonna make a pact with you in blood. That's what they do in these nations anyway. This is just an example. But blood is nothing in his sight. You think blood is anything in the sight of a man like this? Do you really think that blood is anything in the sight of the Yahoo? You think blood is anything in the sight of this demon? Nah, man. They doing a campaign that's fueled by blood right now. You can even call it a bloodletting ritual, man. You know? And that's what they're doing, is they're overthrowing. They're trying to get these ceasefires and all of this But with the ceasefire, what did they do in the first place? They told them to come to a solitary place. Come to Rafa. Send the refugees to Rafa, and they'll be safe there. And everywhere they go, they start bombing it. Rafa is basically the last trip on that merry-go-round. It's the last portion of it. And now they're bottlenecking them and use this as an opportunity to eliminate them in massive numbers. It says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. America's supposed to be a friend to Israel, as they often say, right? And in prosperous times, when they're on top, everything is all good. America's still a superpower, and that's fading. Nonetheless, they still are at the top for the most part for this small portion of time. And when it says the enemy cannot be hidden in adversity, adversity is coming. And now you're starting to see America, if it is true, kind of change their stance on the situation. Like, oh, all right, man, you need to calm down, man. That damn Yahoo, you out here blowing shit up, bro. You need to just come to a ceasefire, come to an agreement. All right. Right now. And they're telling them what they want to do. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And you're gonna do it too. You're gonna ride too. It's Ecclesiasticus 12:9. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in adversity, even a friend will depart. So as this adversity continues to increase, we're going to find out who departs from the U.S. Because let's go back real quick to Revelation 17. This is Revelation 17, and we'll start at 15. It says, and saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And that whore is America. That water is a multitude of nations, like it says right there. All right, and you have a collection of all kind of nations in this one place in America, Babylon the Great, right? Whore. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right? Because when you look at the different nations that are in league with the United States, all right, which are these NATO and EU nations, you see them already speaking out against the abominations that they're committing over there in Rafa and America's letting Israel do it. They're just acting like, we're trying to come up with a ceasefire, and in the meantime, they're doing everything that they said they wanted to do in that region of the world. Well, that's going to cause all these different nations to hate the whore, okay, which is America, because they're like, man, y'all are tripping. Y'all letting a mass genocide happen. So it's funny you want to talk about, the Holocaust, but what is this situation turning into? Genocide, like allegedly what the Holocaust had brought. You doing the same shit. It'll make you scratch your chin. It says, these shall, the 10 horns upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. All right, so these nations are going to shoot thermonuclear ICBM missiles at this place. America's going to do something to make all of these allies turn on them. And Israel, because both of those places are going to be cleansed with fire. America's just going to be made into a desert after that fire quenches. after burning and burning and burning. Just imagine millions of nuclear missiles hitting one concentrated spot to the point where it makes the whole earth reel and shake. And hidden over in Israel. It purifies water as a purifying agent. Fire is a purifying agent. So is water, but fire is a purifying agent. And what you have is a place that will be purified with fire because of the wicked things that have taken place in our home. The largest homosexual parades and the blood of our people shed there by the heathen. It's Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Let's look at that real quick. Because it said a pride shall be cut off of Ashdod, right? Apologies. Hate when that happens. All right, so here's Ashdod, which is in Israel. All right. Right up here above that portion of the Gaza Strip. Ashdod in Israel in general. All right. I said a bastard. Let's read that again. Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. All right. The Philistines, the original Philistines, were, well, they were cousins of the Egyptians, but also they were located in the northern regions, if I'm not mistaken. And they were mortal enemies to the Israelites. But nonetheless, what they're treating them like the people that are there now, the Palestinians are not the Philistines. Yet, this is what you see is a bastard dwelling in Ashdod. Let's look at that closely. All right, because the bastard that's dwelling there now is not the original inhabitants of the land that's making these claims. First of all, let's look at the word bastard. All right, so that bastard goes back to Mamzer.
Strong's H 4464. Mamzer.
Bastard, child of incest, illegitimate bastard, mixed population, born of a Jewish father and heathen mother, which is not that, is vice versa, which is born of a Jewish, a Jewish. Well, they're trying to say that the Jew, like ish means like or pertaining to. All right, so you would have a heathen nation with a Jew or Israelite woman. That would make a bastard. You understand? So the population that dwells there has gained rights over that land with the Balfour Amendment. Okay. And since they've been in that land, they've been at war. And let's look at a bastard, Ashdod, which means powerful Philistine city, Mediterranean Sea, west from Jerusalem. All right. So what you have is the inhabitants of that land oppressing another inhabitants of that land, but neither one of them belong in that land. You understand? They're fighting over land that's not theirs. And the Palestinians, these Arabs, have been living there since, we came out of those lands. And then they came and they staked claim and it's been a mess ever since. It says, the least of the flock, right? So Jeremiah 49:20, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. The noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. And that's because that thermonuclear destruction, similar to what he said right there in Revelation 17, going into, the whore being burned with fire. So will the least of the flock, which is Israel, because it has to be cleansed. The earth is moved with the noise of their fall. What fall? The fall of those ICBM nuclear missiles pounding repetitively in the same place, man. Said the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Says, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Right? And what that's going into is when the Lord returns, man. Crack open them skies. The Lord come with angels and a multitude of chariots. Angels in those chariots coming to reap vengeance. All right. To come back and get that recompense, that righteous payback that the Lord has been waiting for, but he's waiting for the Father. He's waiting for the Most High Yahweh to give him that green light, which is not just yet. All right. So let's go ahead and start closing this off. One more thing. Let me pull this out. Let's see. Let's end this out with this right here. It says, Ecclesiasticus 12:12. It says, set him not by thee. Well, we can go up. It said, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. What happened in the Maccabees, they try to hand their allegiance over to the Romans to get rid of the Greeks, and the Romans turned into an issue. And the Maccabean first and second Maccabees to Israel, we make them treaties, to get them off of get one devil off of our back and put a whole another devil on our back. Okay. So you can't trust your enemies. All right. Edom has always been an enemy to Israel. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not altogether been wiped away. This devil, that's how you know who they are over there, a bastard and Ashdod, because they use the same tactics. You wipe that looking glass and you see that they the same old devil, man. Why? Because of the history, the bloodstained history they have. They do the same thing over and over. So it speaks for himself. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Didn't they do that? Now that they were able to stand up as the bastard and Ashdod. All right, based off of just going all the way out through the history. And it started with those peace treaties, and then, the destruction of Jerusalem being taken over by Titus, the Vespasian dynasty. All right. And being changed forever since then, when the Lord casted us out of that land, because we worship these other nations, gods and what have you. But that's why the Most High said, set him not by thee. I'll jump it down. At least he seek to take thy seat And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Yeah, we being pricked therewith right now. We've been that way for the last 1,200 years. So, the things that you see taking place had to happen. Okay. And jumping down to 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but he will if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So even if they start saying, okay, it's a ceasefire, we feel sorry for what we did and we said, however things may pan out, you can't believe them because they'll remind you the devil that they are. Oh, we want to sit aside in solidarity with you, and then go back to bombing. All right. This devil uses the same tactics all throughout history, man. And then it says, First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And going back to the Renaissance period, we see all of these black icons, even Putin releasing them, did videos on it. All right. So now that people are finding out that the people of the Bible are black, it's an issue. 5 states, people were burning Bibles, white people, Edomites, because they found out that the patriarchs of the Bible are black. It's a trip. So what you see over there in that land is just pure genocide by the same old devils, man. Same tactics. All right. And with this union right here, this is the only reason, because that's the Secretary of State for the United States. And that's the only reason they're allowed to do what they're doing, outside of it being prophecy. So with that, pay close attention. The mark of the beast is coming soon. And that Third World War will kick off. Be circumspect. Until the next time, bid you shalom.